Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone to our March Tech Bite. Um, I actually missed last month, which is not usually my thing, but I was actually out at CPX out in Las Vegas, which is our annual kickoff and really our big tech show of the year. And we kind of show off all the latest and greatest at Checkpoint every year. And basically, what I wanted to do was come back and give a quick. I'm going to condense 4 days into about 15 minutes here, um, or I'm going to try to show you some of the real top. I mean, there was 100 things I could share, but the top handful or so of highlights. CPX. Okay, so. Here's our agenda real quick. There's new features in R82, new AI powered capabilities, improvements in SASE, external risk management. I always hate the agenda. It spoils all the fun. So, first topic. R82 came out at the end of last year. There's a lot of different innovations in it. We did do a little bit of a session on it during the Tech Bites. I forget when it was, but um, that's available on YouTube, but there's a few additional things that are bear mentioning here. So first things first, right? R82, the big things is we've added four new AI engines to our zero-day threat prevention, which totals 55 AI-based threat engines in addition to all the other stuff we have. Data center agility, right? So we have a new way we do virtual systems on the machines and also self-service for DevOps. They can actually now do entirely everything through API, which includes not having to push when you change the rules and the policy by API. Um, Quantum ready cryptography, talk about that in a second, and also simplified and scalable operations. So the architecture of our clustering, right? Cluster XL, I'm sure most of us are familiar with. Um, that is changing, right? We've replaced that with something else, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and click to the next one. Oh, missed my actions on the slide there. So the new threat prevention engines, what are they? Four new AI engines. The first is Kronos, which we're pretty excited about. Um, what it does, it prevents 0 days. Uh, it prevents phishing campaigns by leveraging AI and the time signal analysis, right? What it's doing is it's finding relationships and patterns that uh, malware, that phishing have, and it's raising the security concern of a link before you even do anything with it, right? Before you even click it. Um, as you see there, it's got 23,000 new 0 days and 216,000 threats prevented per month with Kronos. So it's pretty cool. Deep brand clustering. So again, we are preventing phishing campaigns with deep learning. Basically, what this does is it looks at um, a variety of markers and figures out, is this actually part of your brand or your partner companies that you deal with, or is this something that is impersonating one of those, right? Um, AI-based URL categorization. So this one's also very cool. So what we're doing now is we're actually for websites that we don't have a category for yet, right? It's a brand new website just popped up. We're letting the AI take a shot at categorizing it at the time of the click, right? As soon as you go to visit it, the AI is picking it up, looking at it, and trying to figure out what sort of website it is. So basically, we are instantaneously able to categorize URLs and then block them based on what your policy says. So if you don't want gambling sites and somebody finds the brand new gambling site that just launched like 10 seconds ago. It's going to look at it. It's going to say, hey, this looks like gambling, and it's going to categorize it and per your policy, block it, right? We've actually found 20,000 20,000 unique URLs daily go through this engine, which is just, it just blows my mind. It's, that sort of numbers. Um, and then the threat cloud graph. So the threat cloud graph is going to find connections, right? What it means is it's going beyond the standalone threats. It's analyzing relationships between entities, right? And it's going to provide multi-dimensional view of cyber threats, right? Well, this file works with that file, works with this server, works with this link, works with this IP, blah, 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 blah. And it's going to look at that multi-dimensionally and look at how they cross each other, right? And how they actually interact. And it prevents the threats by establishing the reputation of these things based on their relationships and similarities to previously known malware or malicious artifacts or even bad IP addresses, right? So it's pretty cool. Okay, let's see the next one. We talked on the other slide about the new clustering. So we have something, Cluster XL is the protocol that we use to make clusters today. We now have Elastic XL. It sort of comes from our Maestro solution, if you're familiar with that. But what we're able to do is quickly create clusters. They can load share, which is really neat, right? So there's not going to have an active and a passive where the one is just sitting there doing nothing, quote unquote, nothing. It's not really nothing. And also, they're going to appear and be a single object in the policy in Smart Console, which is really cool and streamlines a lot of things. So you can see right here, that little chart at the bottom of the table there. You don't need a hardware orchestrator for a cluster of up to 3 appliances, not 2, 3. Also, it's a single management object. You can apply changes from a single member to all member, and you can add a new cluster with a new cluster member with a single command, right? So it's quick to add these guys in. Definitely cool. Definitely going to be nice to go ahead and maybe make the cluster experience a little more uh, modernized and set up for 2025, and beyond. And then also with that, the other big improvement is the HTTPS inspection or SSL inspection, as a lot of us know it. The changes that we have is we actually have improved how it's done, right? And it will actually bypass certain traffic for a variety of reasons, right? Which can be automated, which is really nice. It also has like a fail-safe mode, right, where you can automatically detect failures in the inspection process because we know SSL inspection sometimes it gives us trouble. It can detect failures, pin certificates, etc. And when they're detected, it can be added to the exception list automatically, right? The CPU performance has been optimized to do this and not put a huge load on the machines, right? Um, and then the second part there, the smart deployment, right? So we actually have a way to gradually deploy HTTPS inspection now, instead of just doing it all or nothing. But it gradually introduces it in your environment to a portion of the traffic over time. And it also, by doing this, can predict its own performance, right? So if we do a subset of your traffic, and we're detecting issues, connectivity issues, certificate issues, whatever, we can predict, or high CPU load from the SSL inspection, we can predict how that will go as we add more traffic and give you that visibility before you actually do it. And what's really cool too, we do support HTTP 3 now over Quick, which is Google's new thing, and it's taken off really fast on the web. So that's important to know for R82. And then the best part of it is it is fully, entirely managed from Smart Console. So you don't have to open up that second application if you've ever done it, um, and play around in there with the certs and stuff. Okay. See the next slide. And then the last um, update or innovation I'll point out today for R82, we are now compliant with defending against quantum computing threats, right? So quantum processing is supposed to come out in the next, I don't know how many years. Um, the hackers today are actually recording modern VPN traffic with the intent to decrypt it using quantum computing, which is scary. So in R82, we have the new NIST approved encryption that is built to prevent quantum decryption, right? Or you'll see people talk about post quantum cryptography or PQC. That's what we're working on here. And we have worked with the NIST approved cryptography to be compliant and ready for that change. And then lastly, I wanted to throw this up. You may have seen the Mircom report in the last couple of years. The last 3 years, we have, it's actually Myrcom's. I always say it wrong. It's Myrcom. In the last 3 years, we've had this report. Just to put it bluntly, we kicked everybody's butt. I don't want to, undersell it or oversell it, but we again have done phenomenally in this Myrcom head-to-head comparison. So what Myrcom actually does, they do it. There's 0+1 malware, they call it. Essentially, they take 0 days, make variants on them, and then see how the firewall will perform against it within the first 24 hours of that being out there, right? And as you can see here, Checkpoint prevented 99.9% of the attacks they threw at it. The next closest was what? Said 91%. And then the guys that are typically compared to, we hear compared to us a lot was 88%, 63%, which 63 is not good at all. So I wanted to throw this out there because, we're really proud of how we've done in this over the last few years. And once again, obviously did very well. You're going to see a very similar slide from the same report about SASE in a few slides here. Okay, moving off of firewalls, kind of. New AI powered capabilities. So AI, everybody's talking about AI. So are we. Checkpoint views it as really like the next big thing. And so to that effect, we are trying to harness and improve our products with AI. So some of the things we've got, we're adding to our management, right? So we have Smart Event, we have the compliance today. We have play blocks. I don't know if people are familiar with it or not, but it's been added and upgraded with the AI stuff. The Copilot, again, has been improved. We have our Infinity Identity, which is improved authentication. Our Infinity AI Ops, right? And then the last two, the Quantum Policy Auditor and the Quantum Policy Insights, we're going to dive into the next couple slides. So the Policy Auditor, coming soon. The policy order is gonna highlight rules that violate your organizational security guidelines. So if you create a rule that violates what you currently have and what you've set up, it's going to show your conflict there. It gives you full visibility into all traffic flows that would be allowable by policy. This is going to simplify your security audits, right? And this should come out sometime in Q2, so it's coming very soon. But it's really cool that it's able to look at your policy, look at your rules you create, and say, hey, you have this many rules that allow you to go, your users to the DMZ, right? Or to the branch offices, right? And oh, by the way, a couple of these rules in yellow here are violating your policy that you set forth in there, right? The quantum policy insights. So this part's even cooler to me, I think. It's going to go through your policy and it's going to look for unused objects, unused rules. It's also going to look for over permissive rules, right, that allow too much. And it's going to call them out to you, show them to you, and allow you with just a click to remove unused objects from your rules, to remove over permissive rules from your policy, etc. So I think that this it's like a policy review done by the AI um, continuously, which is really cool. And I know a lot of our customers have policies they've been using for a long time, and some of the rules don't even apply or work anymore. But you're never sure if you really want to get rid of it or not. This is going to help you do it. Improvements in SASE. So Harmony SASE, we acquired a company called Perimeter 81 I guess it's about a year and a half ago, or maybe a little more like 2 years ago. Um, we have kind of improved it, kind of added to it, kind of begun to really integrate it into Checkpoint. We checkpointified it. um, the internet access is faster, and we can provide faster throughput than really most of the other SASE vendors out there. And the reasoning behind that is because we have our hybrid approach with the product. Some of the policy is applied from the client side, as opposed to uh, on the virtual SaaS firewall, quote unquote. Um, Full mesh, any to any connectivity. A lot of vendors are still working on that. Um, Single vendor SASE, single console. It's in the Infinity portal. Can be deployed very quickly. It says an hour deployment. The internet access will be faster than that. It's a lot faster than that, actually. The private access takes a little more doing. Cost effective with on-device protection, has our security check built in there, posture management built in there, and 99.8% threat prevention. So again, and you're going to see in a slide or two, Checkpoint's all about prevention. And I think most people that are familiar with us kind of know that. Um, Key principles. So the other thing that's going on, right, is we're using SASE and we're integrating some of our existing technologies like browse and mobile, and we're looking at that with kind of a new vision for the new tech world out there, right? So mobile security, right? First thing is we need complete protection, right? So we need to block the attacks before they reach the users, and with a multi-layered approach, right? Between looking at the device itself, looking at what the user is doing, looking at where the user is going, what kind of Wi-Fi are they on, etc. We're able to really provide a true secure experience for your mobile users, right? Seamless management. You need visibility, right? You can't protect what you can't see. The mobile EDR should offer advanced threat hunting, cloud-based management, full visibility to threats and vulnerabilities, risky devices, risky apps, etc. Right? So we have that. Also, zero-touch deployment. We can integrate with the leading MDMs, and then the user-friendly approach, right? So we have to consider privacy, right? Security should protect their employees, but should not impact their privacy, not impact their usability, not affect their data consumption, not affect the battery life of their machine, their devices, right? That's how you end up in problems with the mobile stuff. So we are leveraging these existing technologies and SASE to kind of improve your users' experience there. Um, so the other acquisition that happened more recently, we acquired a company called CyberInt. They do external risk management. I'm not going to read every single thing on this slide, but you see that they are doing for as a service continuous attack surface monitoring, targeted threat intelligence, global threat intelligence, brand protection, supply chain intelligence on all those types of attacks you see there, and then sort of issues you see there. They can do takedowns and remediation right from the CyberInt tool. You click the button and they go and try to take things down, um, which is really cool. And then the expert threat intelligence, right? So we have our hybrid, right? The AI is doing a lot of the thinking, a lot of the learning, a lot of the viewing, and then we have humans as well monitoring constantly to kind of have like this mixed approach. We also can do like custom investigations and threat actor profiling, which is really cool. So we want to get the word out about the external risk management. So as you see, again, I'm not going to read every single thing on this slide, but you see that we are scanning over 2 billion IP addresses continuously, right? We have a 98% success rate in terms of taking down phishing and impersonation attacks. And then we have 500 million intelligence items we collect monthly. We talk about the data lake with this, how we just kind of have a lake of knowledge about what's going on out there on the internet and an attack surface and what the hackers are kind of doing, right? We average about 270 takedowns a month on the phishing side, which so that's quite a bit. It's almost 10 per day that we take down phishing domains or phishing sites. And we continuously do this, right? It's just a continuous, constant management, right? Um, Next one, there it is. And this should have been on the SASE section. I'm not sure why. I think I put this in the wrong spot, but again, that Meyercom report, right? So this one is not about our typical quantum checkpoint firewalls we all know and love. This one is specific to the SASE, right? The SASE based solution. Um, and so you see a little bit different scores in here and whatnot. Um, Again, we did quite well against our competitors. I do see that Cisco does quite well with their SASE or Secure Service Edge. A lot of people call it the SSE. I don't know exactly what Cisco acquired, I'm assuming. But they've done well on this side, not so well on their firewalls. But you see the rest of the pack is quite a bit behind. And you look at these things and you say, well, Checkpoint Block 99 and Cisco Block 96 and Fortinet at 84, right? What does that all mean? What that means is that if your users click on 100 bad sites or 100 malwares, um, you know, if you're talking about 84% prevention, 16 of them got through, right? Which is terrible. It could be terrible, especially since one could take you down, So wanted to point that out. And with that, I know I blurred through again. I crammed a week's worth of sessions and tabletop show and presentations and keynote speeches. I crammed it all into about 20 minutes there. So with that, does anybody have any questions? Looking at the chat. Okay. Well, um, I'm gonna hang back for another couple minutes, 2, 3 minutes here. So if you do come up with questions, that's fine. If you come up with them after you get off, like I always do, feel free to shoot me an email. If you want to dive deeper into any of these things, and hint, hint, the next few tech bites will probably be off of topics that were discussed in this slide deck. Um, Probably quite a few of them, to be honest. So um, stay tuned for that as well. And of course, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. And I really appreciate it, guys. And I will see you next month.